Hello again. Quilters, start your engines. This is clue 2 in Here Be Dragons. And in this clue, we are going to be stitching. So I just put the clue live in the Teachable class. Let me put up that link for you. Hold on. I should have done this ahead of time. Oops, where did it go? Here we go. I'm going to put a comment up. That is the link to the class in case you're just joining us. So clue 2 is live. And clue 2, we're going to be stitching. So take that first plate. Oh, first off, did you finish cutting? Did you cut safely? Is everybody okay? Hopefully you had enough time to do all of your cutting. And if you didn't, you'll have more than enough time to make up for it throughout this whole event. So my first clue 1 is I have 7-inch squares of 2 different fabrics. And what we're going to do, according to the directions, is we're going to pair the blocks together. And what I do is I cut them in half and I sew a 1/4 inch inside, a 1/4 inch seam on each bias. Some people like to draw a line and then sew and then cut. Either way is absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. Pick your favorite way. I happen to like to cut first. So you're going to cut them. You're going to sew them. I pressed to the darker side. On this quilt, cheddar is my background. This is my fabric 1. I think this is fabric 4. Is that right? Yeah, this is fabric 4. So I pressed toward fabric 4 on the back. You don't need to press open unless you want to. So pressing to the side is just fine. And once I finished, I pressed it open, but it wasn't 6.5 inches. So I trimmed it to 6.5 inches. Now, I am an Omnigrid ruler girl. I know that people like Quilter Select, and what's the other one that is the white one? That's the most popular one. Anyway, I'm old school. I like Omnigrid. What's your favorite ruler? So I lay the diagonal line. I have a 6.5 inch ruler here, a diagonal line on my seam, and then I trim off the excess. And so this one hasn't been trimmed. You can see it has little ears on the end, and this one has been trimmed. So your goal for this clue is to make a whole bunch of these. How many of these are we making? 24 of them. So here is clue 2. You're going to make 24 of these. Olfa and Creative Grids. So those are the other ones. I'm an Omnigrid. Let's see, you love your stripology. I do too, but I don't do them for triangles. I just do them for strips. I know they do more than that. So cut them with your favorite ways. Let's see. Heather, you didn't get all the cutting done, but not much left to do. You'll catch up this hour. You will. If you don't catch up this hour, next hour is the easy hour, so you'll have time to catch up. So let's see. What other news do I have from the group? So Jolene and Terry are both quilting along, and they were also testers and friends of the first mystery quilt. So welcome. I'm glad you're quilting along. For people in my local quilt guild, we have a challenge to make a quilt because we have virtual meetings in January and February, I think. And so when we come back together in March, our challenge is to bring a quilt that has half square triangles. So hello, local quilt guild folks who are quilting along. Look, half square triangles. This quilt will fit the bill for you. And also, the whole time I've been planning this, a longtime friend of mine, as in held my hand through my kid's wedding, held my hand as I was raising my kids, held my hand through my kid's wedding. Today's her birthday. So happy birthday, Kim, if you're here quilting along. And I hope you're doing something really fun today. My color, let's see, Joyce, color 1 isn't big enough. Will 1 yard work? Let me check. So color 1, we need 18. I can tell exactly how many inches. I give extra. Let's see. So 21 plus, I got 40.5 inches, but you may be able to do it with one less strip. It depends on how long your fabric is. So fabric 1 has you cutting 3 7-inch strips, depending on how you need 12 7 by 7-inch squares. If your fabric is more than 42 inches, then you only need 2 strips and you can make it work with 1 yard. So hopefully that helps. Let's see here. Patty, you like to cut and drawing lines? Great, do whatever works. I like to cut instead of drawing lines. This is not a big stressful quilt. All the corners don't matter that much. I'm not a big let's make this measure with a little micro thing perfect. Have fun. I hope you have fun making a quilt today. Your favorite ruler is the one you can find. Amen. Preach. Preach. Exactly. I will invite my husband. I'm like, honey, I'm looking for a certain ruler if you can help me find it. Problem is, if it slips under a table, I can't bend over to find it. So I do need his help to find things that I've dropped on the floor or under piles or whatever. He's been home for the last week and a half. So I've actually found a little floor in my sewing room. It's impressive. Help. Clue 1 says fabric 1 and 4, but step 1, let's take a look. From fabric 1, you're cutting 7 inches. Let me go back to my first thing. 7 inches set aside for clue 2. Set aside for clue 2. For fabric 2, for fabric 2, you need 6 7-inch squares for clue 4. And then from fabric 4, I think I've got it here. Celeste, is that making sense? So it's fabrics 1 and fabric 4 that you're going to have 12 each of. You're cutting more than one set of 7-inch squares. So we're going to use, let me go back to the first one. Set aside for clue 2, fabric 4 set aside for clue 2. That's what I have, Celeste. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'm understanding. I'm reading. Let me go through and see if we got more comments. Hello, bem-vindo, bem-vindo, the only word I know in Portuguese, but I'm glad you're here. What is the noise in the background? It was probably my furnace because there's nothing much going on here. Can I make my colors go dark to light from 1 back to 5? Sure. I don't think that it'll be interesting to see how it works out. Hi, Carrie. You guys cut fast. That's why I put in an extra hour this year. Let's see. My fabric 3 and fabric 2 are equally busy. Will it clash? Hold on, looking at the reveal. I'm gonna say no, because your fabric 3 is kind of your main color. Fabric 1's kind of your background. And fabric 2, where's fabric 2? Looking at my reveal, where's fabric 2? Trying to answer your questions. No, I think you'll be okay. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna collect and chill today. My minions would be at the end of everything. You've dragged out fabric right now. It's fun having minions. It's just me and my husband here. No minions. My minions all live with their parents. My children are grown and have their own children. So do whatever works for you. This is just a fun day, but I'm really glad you're here quilting along. Oh, another one with minions at home. Did I find my rotary cutters yet? No ER visit yet. My rotary cutting blades went missing in November of 2016. A whole big pack of the big ones. Nope, never found them. But Janet, I'm so glad you've had a safe cutting experience this year. Brazilian fabrics are 58 inches wide, so reduce the quantity of some fabric. Great. Yeah, this is coming out of the States, so our fabric is 40 to 42 inches wide. I usually count 40 inches of usable space, but when we're cutting 7-inch squares, we can get 6 of them into 42 inches. It depends on how wide our fabric is. It's on Clue 2. Yeah, we are on Clue 2 right now. So let me go back to Clue 2. Clue 2 says, to take fabric 1 and fabric 4. I think I'm understanding. Yeah, we're using fabric 1 and fabric 4 in this. So sorry. I hope if there are corrections, please let me know, and I will post them in the class, because sometimes since I wrote it, it makes sense to me even if I've written it wrong, because I know what I meant. So please, if there are corrections, please let me know. Let's see. Fabric 2 and 5 are equally busy. Fabric 5 is your pop. Fabric 2, let's see where fabric 2 is. Got to look at a picture again. No, I think you're okay. 2 and 5 are paired together, equally busy. Equally busy is okay, but are they different colors? Is there a contrast in value? Is one darker than the other? The busyness doesn't matter. It's the contrast. Let's see. How do I deal with the selvage edge? Do I rotary cut it off? Or do I clip and rip? I rotary cut it off. I do not clip and rip because I don't, when you tear fabric, you make the fabric next to it unusable for about a half an inch because it stretches things out. And that's cool if you're ripping for backings or whatever. But I'm a frugal quilter, and I want to have all of the fabric stay usable. So I just cut it off, cut my strips, and then I cut the selvage off and cut each of the blocks. Let's see, 2 and 5. Let me see, equal in color and value. Let me take a look. Yeah, they're gonna have to play next to each other. So it can just make it look like a more interesting block, but this is meant to give some movement to the quilt, so you may want to try to have one of the fabrics darker than the other. But again, none of them are wrong. They just might not show up the way you wanted them to. So that is Clue 2. To reiterate, we're taping fabrics 1 and fabric 5. I'm sorry, fabric 1 and fabric 4 from our first plate of Clue 2 cutting, and we've cut them into 7-inch squares. We are now sewing them into half square triangles and trimming them down to 6.5 inches. That's the clue. So again, as you're sewing through, please let me know if there are any mistakes. I will that I've made in the writing of it. If there's typos, I can fix that, and I will re-upload it into the class. But for now, I'm going to release you to go do all of your cutting, finish your cutting, and work on your half square triangles from Clue 2. I will be back at the top of the hour with Clue 3. So happy quilting, grab a snack, stay hydrated. Also, yesterday I made a big tray of enchiladas. A friend of mine from church fell and broke her hand in the ice earlier this week. So I took her dinner, and then I made some for me for tonight. So I know I have a good dinner going. So hopefully you have some takeout plans or dinner in the crock pot or something ready to go, so you can have a fun sewing day and an easy dinner. Or Heather, in Australia, you've got hours and hours to go while you're planning dinner. So happy quilting, everyone. I'll be back at the top of the hour with Clue 3. Bye.